In the case of Roch-Marc Christian Kaboré, I'll put it to you, Michael Kirtley, what could he have done differently?
Well, as you alluded to earlier, Francois, we were here in the same studio talking about the people's revolution against Kabore.
Back in 2014.
Yeah, and I remember us talking and being very hopeful and being very excited, and then reality came in. I mean, there was on the positive side, there was a first election, a second election for the first time since 1978. They had free elections that elected the president. But at the same time, you had enormous destabilization throughout the region due to the waves of the tsunami of jihadis that were coming in, as you know, across the Sahara, over to Mali, down through Mali, down into Burkina Faso. And Burkina Faso, after Mali, has suffered the worst from this invasion of jihadis. Burkina Faso today is literally riddled with cells that in the northern and in the central north part of the country that are there just eating away at the soul of the country. And as Marc alluded to earlier, you've got a military at the same time that is not being paid and that is not being fed. So the president, yes, I mean, what he needed more was money to send to the military. That may have helped, that may have stabilized the country a little bit more. But the problem is, the problems in Burkina Faso are much bigger than the problems of just one government. And I fear that this portends very bad things for the region.
For the wider region, we'll get to that later. Again, Marc Perelman, when we saw this slow burn start to accelerate, what were the reactions? We saw condemnation come from ECOWAS, from the African Union, but could more have been done?
Well, clearly it was probably too late already. We saw also calls for the immediate liberation of the president by the EU, by the United States as well. But clearly it was already probably too late. There were attempts by the president to negotiate with the military, I'm told, during the day, throughout the day, to try to allay their demands and say, okay, you know, I will listen to you and so on. But clearly this didn't work out. What's ironic, or sadly ironic, and probably shows that the president had lost control clearly over the military, is that the leader of this new junta, let's call it this way, Lieutenant Colonel Damiba, was appointed back on December the 3rd, so a month and a half ago, by President Kabore to head the 3rd military region of Burkina Faso. So he was supposed to be one of the new faces of the military, because as Kabore struggled with these jihadist onslaught and the military, he really tried to shake things up and name new people. And one of the people he named happens to be the person who is behind the coup today, which probably shows his lack of judgment, or the fact that distrust was really widespread in the military, and that didn't help him today to really stave off this coup attempt and, in the end, condemn him.
All right, before we listen to a clip from that statement that was read out a short while ago on state television, I just want a quick reaction from Asita Konko. This Lieutenant Colonel Paul-Henri Sandaogo Damiba is his name. For you, is that a new face, or is it part of the old guard?
Well, for me, it's a new face, but I don't know if the guard is new. Maybe, who knows who is behind this. And what is quite surprising is that he did not come on television to make his statement himself. He signed a statement that someone else went to read on television. Maybe there is an explanation for that as well. It's for the moment unclear. But this looks like an old story that is repeating itself. You know, I am 41 today. I was 7 years old when I actually witnessed the first coup of my lifetime in Burkina Faso. It was in 1987 when Thomas Sankara was killed by former President Blaise Compaoré to become president himself. At least now we can say so far no blood has been shed in this coup for the moment. I hope it will stay so, but it looks like a deja vu. What happened when I called family and friends and relatives today, even 5 minutes before coming into this show, they kind of say, like, we're just eating food now and we're waiting for things to pass. This is exactly what we did in 1987. This is exactly what people do when a coup is happening. People just continue their lives, and then we'll say like, go and lay down when you feel like some bullets might come through, and life just go. People just get used to the nonsenseness of things, and this is quite sad because at the end, they've been fighting and struggling so much for freedom. So there is a taste of deja vu, I must say. And that's why I'm also very worried, because what is going to happen, even what ECOWAS is saying, is also a deja vu. If you look at ECOWAS today, personally, I see a lot of members, a lot of leaders that also do not actually achieve for their people, the majority of the leaders into ECOWAS. So they have lost a lot of faith. I never spoke to any young person in Burkina Faso, and I'm in contact with many of them, who would tell me I trust ECOWAS. So there is a crisis of trust as well. Someone else said it's much bigger. The issue is much bigger than Burkina Faso. It's much bigger than the situation now. It is a whole issue in the region. And I worry about what has been happening in Guinea with Russia, what has been happening in Mali, what is happening now with the youth, and what is going to go on in the future. There is a lot of passive aggressivity towards France as well, and I'm so sorry that France is standing alone in the Sahel. We have been working so much in the European Parliament about this, but unfortunately people think here that the Sahel matter and the Islamism in the region, that this is a problem far from us, but it's not. One, it's costing a lot of money. The EU has been giving so much money without a lot of accountability and control. And this can be summarized in what Dambisa Moyo said, dead aid. Who knows in whose pocket this money went? Nothing is going to improve, and people keep giving money like giving money is going to solve all the problems. Second, it's not the EU that needs to go there and solve the problem. These leaders need to be accountable, need to achieve for their own people. And third, did the world not sleep and think that Syria was far away? What happens after that? We should never underestimate Islamism in a region. It's never far enough.
We're going